100 of the best sci-fi movies, man. We're back with yet another one. We're talking about science fiction movies. It's how we're kicking off our 2022. I took what I think are the 100 best movies. Space opera, cyberpunk, speculative fiction, hard sci-fi. It's all in here, man. And I ranked them from 100 to 1. We're talking about one a day for the first 100 days of this hell year, man. It's good to get some more science fiction in your life, man. Yesterday we talked about number 44 on the list. Talked about 2009 Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams joint, man. The rebooting that we've got 3, 4. The fourth one was just recently announced about a week and some change ago, I do believe. So it's good to be seeing these cats get back together, because I think it was like 2016 or something like that with Star Trek Beyond, which is not on this list. But still, check out that 2009 Star Trek movie and podcast if you haven't today. Oh, you didn't think we'd be getting back-to-back JJs, did you? Today, number 43 on our list, The Force Awakens. Now, the tagline, every generation has a story. I'll give it a C+ on the tagline. 30 years after defeating the Galactic Empire, Han Solo and his allies face a new threat from the evil Kylo Ren and his army of stormtroopers. Man, when I think about Force Awakens, well, before you even get to that, Force Awakens, that movie itself, is, the man knows how to make fun movies. And Force Awakens is so much fun, man. It's fun seeing our old friends back on the screen in the big three. It's fun seeing this new big three and trying to figure out we can't help but try to put things into categories and boxes. I think that's human nature. So when you get the old three back and then you get the new three, it's like, what kind of the who is Oscar Isaac's character, is Poe Dameron kind of like the new Han Solo, and is Rey like the new Leia? Does that make Finn the new Luke? Well, that doesn't quite fit the box. Doesn't make sense. But still, it's good to see that this new trilogy of people, these new three people, bringing new lifeblood into the Star Wars universe while collecting the torch from the older three that are kind of on their way out. As these new three are on their way in, it still follows the classic 3-act structure that we got in all the other Star Wars movies. If you ever listened to the Star Wars commentaries that myself and Josh Bishop did over in Cindy Automatics, he makes a good point of the fact that it's time for a new act change when we get to a new planet or body of we can't really call it the Death Star, celestial body, but that's kind of like the second act of Star Wars is all about. But yeah, it follows the same act here. You get that first act there on the not Tatooine. It's damn near midnight. My memory is failing me right now. On Jakku, there we go. So you get the Act 1 on Jakku. You get Act 2 was at Takodana, there with Maz Kanata, and then you get Act 3, pretty much aping what the Death Star run there in Star Wars. A lot of people had issues with the similarities between Force Awakens and The New Hope. I, for one, loved it. I understand completely why they did it. After getting those prequels, man, people were kind of soured on Star Wars. We all know Episode 1 is not good. Episode 2 is flat out garbage. And then Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith is actually a fairly decent movie. But overall, the prequel soured a lot of people. They had to bring, and plus it had been with Revenge of the Sith was 2005. This is 2015. So it would have been a decade, man. We had to bring people back into Star Wars. And I think the best way to do it is to give you something that you're comfortable and familiar with before we can really break out and tell you something new, which is what they do in The Last Jedi there. So yeah, this was specifically designed, A, to sell toys, and B, to bring you back into the world of Star Wars in a familiar and comfortable way. I remember the hype leading up to this movie was just fever fucking pitch insane, and I was riding that wave like the world's best surfer, man. I was so 100% into this movie, and I will never forget until the I'm 1,000 years old, those lights going down and seeing that once upon a time, Once upon a time, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. And the theater, got a little bit rowdy. It was, woo, yeah, Star Wars. But then when those John Williams horns hit, man, the place was like a fucking rock concert, man. And the tears just immediately started, man. It was just so good to be overwhelmed with Star Wars, and that's one of the reasons I always vie for the theater experience, because seeing that with a community of people, all of us sharing in the murder of Han Solo, but at the same time, of seeing Han Solo back on the screen, God, that movie, Force Awakens, is so good. God, I love this movie. A lot of people have issues with the marketing positioning Finn to be the next Jedi. Some people say that I feel like the rug was pulled out from underneath them, and I completely understand those feelings. It has been my thought, and I'm not sure how many other people might agree with this, but it has been my thought that that was always a purposeful misdirect. Always. He was marketed in the trailers to being a Jedi. You see him opening up the blue lightsaber in that first trailer, man. It was always led for us to believe that Finn's going to be a Jedi, because this is J.J. Abrams talking about. He has his mystery box bullshit. That's what he does. I think he always wanted us to believe it was going to be Finn right up until the time that lightsaber flies into Rey's hand. I think Rey was always the plan, and that Finn was a misdirect for us. Black guy took the fall for the white girl, as always. But yeah, man, number 43 on the list, Force Awakens. I love it. Seen it way too many times, and I'll see it way too many more times in my life. We'll be back in 24 hours with some more movies, more science fiction movies, right here on Paprika.